On today's brand new episode of Golf is Ruining My Life.
So much to talk about, including a new ruling. Well, an old ruling that I didn't know about that almost caused a huge argument on the golf course. And I don't think you will know about this ruling, and you probably should. So that.
Also, we've come up with a brand new business model for golf coaching. Can you subscribe to a coach? We discussed that.
Yes. Also, I talk about an old golf course that I used to be a member of that had an interesting sort of membership subscription model that I think other golf courses should 100% employ because it made golf a lot more interesting and easier to play. So that, and also, Tom, you've got to do the thing.
I don't want to do it. I shot my worst ever round in the medal the other day, and Tom wants me to talk about it, and I don't want to, but I do talk about it for your entertainment, so don't go anywhere.
Guys, he's a 4 handicap and shot something like a 23 over. This
come
is
on,
potentially the best episode of the podcast ever.
Welcome along to Thursday's edition and rendition of the golfing howl of pain that is Golf is Ruining My Life with self, Tom Price, and him over there,
Other self.
Tom Green.
Yes. I don't know if you felt this, Tom, and this isn't really going to resonate so much with the American listeners or the Australian listeners.
Hello, mate.
It's so nice because just over there, the sun is now out, and I've done the calculations, and in the UK, you could currently tee off probably just after 6:15.
That is... What a statement. Certainly in the south of the UK, maybe not so much in the north of the UK at the moment, but we are getting to that stage where people will be maybe driving to work or getting the train to work, and they'll be thinking, you know what? If I push back that 9 a.m. and make that a 10 a.m., if I get up, instead of at 7 a.m., I get up at like maybe 6 a.m., there's 9 holes to be had. There's a little golfing buffet. There's a little golfing snack. And I would suggest that there is no finer way to start the day than just 9 holes. And do you know what? Pop Golf is Ruining My Life in your speakers, in the old headphones.
Yeah.
And something I'm not averse to doing, Tombo, is getting a podcast on, and when you're playing by yourself, just go and knock it around. And I feel like that used to be, if not frowned upon, it wasn't something you'd see that often. But now it's really common to see people playing with AirPods on.
Tom, let me tell you the first ever time I listened to Taylor Swift's Folklore album. I'll take you to, I'm going to take you back to South London on a course on Richmond Common Golf Course. Everyone goes, the nice one. And I go, no, not the nice one.
No.
The one that's you can get almost like a gym membership for. I've never seen a golf club do this other than that golf club in Richmond. It had like a gym policy to it where you would pay £60 a month, cancel whenever you want golf membership.
Oh, I see. Why isn't that a thing more often? I guess it's because golf is so seasonal. They just know everyone will just be there for the summer and then disappear in November. Yeah,
but I think there's something in it because I think people are so often put off by the go for a meeting, have an interview. You have to pay X amount of money up front to become a member. And then therefore, people never join golf clubs and then never get fully bitten by the thing we've all been bitten by. And I think there is an argument to helping people get on courses. This place had a weird thing as well, where it was, try and get your head around this. It was 1 course, 3 clubs.
Whoa! Oh, yeah. Is that the course where you always have to wear red?
No, see, this is what everyone doesn't know. That's Wimbledon, and that's the other one in Wimbledon. I played the other one in Wimbledon to that as well. I just thought it was an interesting strategy because when I left, you just cancel. They went, right, your next payment will be your last payment and you're out.
Oh my God, that feels quite transactional. I kind of like the idea that when you join a golf club, that sure there is money and there is a financial transaction, but you're handing over. I think of golf as my extra bodily organ. You've got your liver, you've got your kidneys, you've got your lungs. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We've all got the inner offal, and golf is an additional one of those.
Where are you going with this?
And I don't know, but when I join a golf club, it's like that is you're now. There's a connection. It's stronger than just a money thing. That's why I like being a member of a club. I think it ties you in a really kind of like, it's part of me now way. It's a possession.
When I was on my big weight loss journey, Tom, I spoke to a guy who's amazing. Actually, he's a fitness coach, and he gets great results, especially with people that really don't think they can do it. And he does that by charging something like $2,000 a month to coach you, which is obviously a ridiculous amount of money. But I had the sales talk with him, and he made an interesting argument, which was almost down that line of argument, which is it's only when you are fully committed and you put yourself all into this. And his way of doing that is finances, that you really go, oh my God, all right, I'll do it. And I think there is something in that with like going through the rigmarole. Potentially this is counter to what I've just said, but going through the rigmarole of the meeting and the joining and the seconder and the firster, there's a little merry dance you have to dance. And doing the merry dance makes you sort of enjoy it more.
And that way, once you've got it, exactly, you feel like you've done all those, you've jumped through all the hoops, and now I'm in, and I couldn't possibly ever leave, and I need to make the most of it. I believe that it shows this sort of investment of money, obviously, but also time. Tom, sorry, something you said. Go on. Yeah.
I've just realised I don't care about any of this. I've just realised I don't care about any of this. Sorry, I don't care about. I might even delete the last bit of this show because I just realised I don't care about any of this. The only thing I care about is you shooting 20-something over. How had I forgot that?
Okay, let me just go through a couple of things here. First of all, it's my edit. So I'm going to just... The next whole chunk where we talk about it, I'm going to edit. I'm going to delete that. Secondly, I've got half a shard of an idea that I want to just explore very briefly before we come to my...
How convenient. Here's what I will now refer to as Tom Price's 25-minute shard.
Here's my shard. Yeah, exactly. This is what we will always do. This is going to be the thing. We get to the end of every episode and go, we never got to speak about it.
Do your big shard.
Well, something you said just now really lit a fire in me because I've got my coach, Howard, right? He's brilliant. Down in Kent.
We love Howard.
I haven't seen him for ages, actually, because I'm playing quite well. But he's always there and I know I will go and see him soon. Is there a model? Because you're talking about subscriptions and monthly payments. We're quite transactional with our coaches, aren't we? A lot of people go, I go every 6 weeks or I go every 4 weeks or however often you go and see your coach. I don't know, how often should you go and see your coach if you're an amateur golfer? You tell us, let us know. In the comments, drop us an email. But is there a subscription model with a coach where you say to your coach, look, I'm going to pay you, let's say for the sake of argument, 150 quid a month. Okay, maybe that's loads. I don't know, £100, whatever. Ignore the number. But then you get with that a lesson, but you get the texts, you get the phone call, basically what we offer. You get the phone call afterwards, and you almost get this ongoing relationship that isn't just turn up, have a look at the thing, try and fix that, cheers, off you go. Maybe there are coaches out there who are now screaming, going, this is what I do, but I feel like that isn't something I've heard of very often.
Like an all-you-can-eat subscription model to a golfing coach. I think that's really interesting, and my only 2 points on that is, one, I think it would be criminally expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Because golf coaching already is a lot of money. And I also think the major downfall, the reason this wouldn't work is because I know us golfers. I know what we're like. And I know, because this show essentially has opened this dark portal. I do believe this show is like a Pandora's box. For a lot of people out there in internet land and listener land, this is your space where you can bore us and each other with all the golfing chat that your wife and partner, and let's be honest about this, a lot of your golfing friends wouldn't put up with, because we're that level above. And my worry is that you would take this level of obsession and inject it directly into a pay-per-month coach, and he would become to hate you.
I do think coaches, even the best ones, would get bored of the indulgence of it, because the reason they're coaches is because they're professional and because they're amazing at golf, and the reason they're amazing at golf is because they haven't let it drill into their very soul, unlike us. That's what it is, isn't it?
That's what's holding me back.
Yeah, that's what it is. But if you know anyone who does that, I'm just interested. What happens? How does it work if you have a regular coach? Another question as well, which I think is a really relevant one, and I am trying to delay the moment where I talk about my 24 over par.
Yeah, we will get there. I'm determined to get there. It might happen after the ads, but we will get there. Don't worry, everyone.
Another relevant question. How much should you pay for lessons? How much do you pay for lessons? How much have you paid for lessons? In my head, in the UK, it's in the between 60 to 80 quid for an hour kind of situation. Is that high, do you think? Is it, if it's any lower than that, you start to worry, am I getting value for money? And also, how long should a lesson be? I was talking to a really great coach the other day who coaches juniors, and he's like, half an hour, I just do half an hour with them because after 30 minutes, they're gone, they're out of here, they're distracted. And that's a really big question. Because I've had lessons 45 minutes, and after that, I can't take on board anymore.
Yeah, I think 45 minutes is the perfect length of time. A good coach for me, and I see this in, yes, I'm going to say it, I might not look like it at the moment, but I do CrossFit. I do. I do. Guilty as charged. CrossFit's ruined my life, more like. And the best coaches there, I think, have a lot of similarities with golf, where a lot of the moves in CrossFit and a lot of the moves in golf are super complex, aren't they? It's get your hips, drop it into the channel, go around there. And I think the best coaches are not potentially the best golfers, but the ones that can translate a feeling from their head and put it into terms that you understand. And what I've learned with golf coaching and with CrossFit is, okay, one idea is try and hit a draw, right? I know what I need to think to hit a draw. But for every other golfer, there'll be a million and one ways that you can get that thought into their head and get into that swing pattern. And I think that's a great coach, is someone that can go, okay, you're not really understanding what that means. Well, let's think about it in your back pocket, or let's think about it in your glove hand, or let's think about it at the top of your backswing. That's what makes a really good coach. And I don't care about this. 22, was it 22 over?
I actually don't know. I've actually forgotten. 20. No, I have.
Sorry, it's on my EG, lads.
So basically what happened was I started my first card of the year. I was in that beautiful clear-headed space that you can sometimes find in golf, and it does sometimes come after a break, and we need to learn from that. We need to recreate that vacuum that exists in our heads and just be a little bit more anything else, just a little bit more laid back about the whole thing. And I was in that place, and I shot 5 over, and I could have shot 2 over. It was a mad round, one of those rounds. And then 1 week later to the day, it was the monthly medal. So that was in the quarterly medal that I shot 5 over. And then a week later, it was the monthly medal. And I just thought, that'll happen again.
I need questions.
Okay.
You shot 5 over in the quarterly medal.
Yeah.
You must have been pretty close to winning that, no?
Well, my handicap is, have I mentioned 4.9? So there were a few people who shot way under their handicap. I think I was like 10th or 11th out of like 100. Wow. So that's the highest I've ever been.
Yeah, nice.
Because, and here's a big topic. Why is the medal so hard, and why do we fall apart in the medal? And Jay Vincent, lovely Jay.
Oh, Jay, my favourite, the owner of my old motor caddy.
Is that right? Is that where that's gone?
That's where that went. Lovely listener and personal friend. Jay
It's so nice to think that it's gone to a good home, and it's now in the countryside, enjoying the fields. Not that Jay lives in the countryside. Anyway, he was saying to do well at the medal, you have to do it half a dozen plus times before you get good at it. So when I started doing medals regularly, which was probably only a year ago, really, I've only really got into doing that. And I look forward to you having this meltdown, Tom, when you join your place. It's a freaking nightmare, and I have no idea why. Is it pressure? Maybe.
So yeah, if you win the monthly medal, is that a name on the old boardy? How does it work?
No, you just win the monthly medal. I think you might get a little pat on the botty, maybe.
Oh. Well, yeah. Worth it.
I don't actually know. You might get some credit in the pro shop. I genuinely don't know what happens at ours. All I do know is one of the pressures of the monthly medal, which I am now discovering, is all my mates at the club messaging me when you blow up. No one messages you when you shoot a good score.
Oh no!
I got half a dozen, including from Jay actually, half a dozen messages going, "Mate, what happened? What? Who even are you?"
Yeah, and this isn't you. You're not this guy.
I know, but here's the thing, man. There is no great story here. There is no great Tom Price meltdown here to discuss. There is no, it's doing this and this and that, this happened. And it was just a series of unfortunate events. It was a lost ball here. It was probably 3 or 4 very short putts that I just clumsily, I wasn't concentrating and I got tense. And the thing I realised subsequently, because I've played a few times since then, I've played better-ish, is the reason I was playing well. Here's the thing. Here's the main lesson that I've unlocked.
Yeah, here's
from
the take-home, listeners. Here we go.
Here's the take-home. Yeah. Enjoy this. And this is something that happened towards the end of last year, playing with Malcolm and John and Amos. I was doing this thing where I was turning and I just gave it a bit of extra beans on the turn. And I realized that so much of my golfing problems come from tightness and tension. And tension is the enemy, because I'm turning and I'm just locking in and going, that's all right. That's the top of the backswing. Let's crack on and get on with the shot. You know what I mean? And that's what I've then started doing towards the end of last year. Going, no, go on, keep turning, keep going, make it last longer, make the swing last long, and then suddenly coming right around here and getting that compression and getting these amazing shots away. And what happened on the day of the 24 over is I'd stopped doing that. I had stopped doing that, and I was doing less, and I was frozen, and the shoulder turn and the body turn was not as full, and I was just hitting not very good shots and then being clumsy. And suddenly,
My question to you here is, do you truly believe that going further back would help you, or is it a rhythm thing? Is it actually you don't need to go as far back? I really worry when people's swing thought is extend the swing a bit, because I think the further it goes, the more issues that come into the swing. Maybe this is just me putting advice that works for me into other people's games. Because
and which, that's what internet golf is for, right?
Exactly, yeah. Because
Instagram's covered it. Yeah.
If you just slow down a bit, you don't have to go as far back, but you just take your time a little bit more with it, and then you still get all that body turn. But you do have famously a short backswing, John Rahm.
Oh my God.
He hates it. He hates that one, and I love it.
You know how much. Right, let's have some ads so I can just go and scream into a cushion, and I'll be back in 2 ticks.
On the way after the ads, I'm going to give you a golf club that I think might change your life. Yeah, stay there.
Welcome back to Golf is Ruining My Life. I would say, in response to your question, Tom, the turn thing, you're right, there's more that can go wrong with the turn. But for me, there's more that can go wrong when I don't turn enough, because everything gets out of sync. If I'm not doing enough turn, and you're right, my swing is short, and it means that I overcompensate for the lack of body movement by using arms too much. And when I use arms too much, that way disaster is looming, because I chop across the ball, right? To use the body takes loads less effort. It's unbelievable when you get a proper body turn. You're not having to, it's just, you're using your core, right? It's I don't know, when they say pick up a box, you got to bend your knees and use your core rather than bending over at the waist and just using your arms to wrench it up. It's that sort of feeling. But the big takeaway from my disastrous 24 was I was pretty fed up. Don't get me wrong. I was hardly happy. And I didn't want to be there. And I just got bored and fed up, and sort of, I was looking at shots and just sort of going, all right, fine,
Yeah.
But I wasn't furious. I was quite pleased with my attitude. I wasn't like, there was no tantrums. There was no kind of major meltdowns. And just a couple of, it really was just a series of unfortunate double bogeys and two. I think I got 7 as well. Yeah.
Here's a question for you, actually. What's the highest score you've ever shot on one hole? Do you remember, Tom? Do you remember? I know exactly when mine was, and mine was in a medal.
Oh my God, it's straight away. It has to be in the medal, right? Because if it's playing with pals or whatever, you kind of forget it a
whatever.
bit. Yeah. It was a relatively easy par 5 at our course, and I got I think I got a 10 in the medal.
Which par 5 was it? Was it the first par 5, the up and down?
Yeah. The 6th, yeah. And I couldn't believe it.
Can relate. That's where I got mine. That's where I got my 11. Right? That's my 11. My 11 on that hole. And the most depressing thing about that 11 is it was the day when I said, do you know what, actually, to describe the hole to you, you can go for it in 2, can't you? You can try and cover that water and go for it in 2. And I said, do you know what, I'm going to be sensible here. Going to play down before the water. And then I took a 7 iron from there to the green, cleared the green, and went into that hellhole behind. And then struggled to chip out, then thinned it out, and then all that sort of. It's funny, isn't it? The worst score you've ever shot happens when you are playing your most conservative and your most like, I'm just going to pick my way around this hole. This will be the way to do it. Mad.
Yeah, it wasn't a wild moment for you. It was just but that is the nature of the medal, because there is a moment when you're putting if you're doing Stableford with mates or you're playing a golf day, and rightly so, you don't want, if you're doing a social golf day, you don't want the stress of going 9, 10, 11, 12, and you just and you walk away from it, and it shows you. And I know I've been quite critical of Stableford in the past, but it shows you how brilliant it is that there is a version of the game, whether it's match play or Stableford, where it doesn't matter what you got in this hole, you're still here for another 3 hours. Have a nice time. Whereas when I got my 24 the other day, I was getting that feeling that I've had before, where I just thought I don't really want to be here.
Here's a rule that my uncle plays, actually. We were talking about it when we played Quintalago a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. He has a rule on holiday, which I really, really like, because it was so funny.
Holiday golf rules, yes.
Holiday golf rules, right? This is really funny because I was playing with two people who take very different approaches to the game. I have my uncle Mick, who was very much, we're here to have fun. This is vibe-based. Let's have a laugh.
Yeah.
And then we had my father-in-law, who is rules-based. This is a game. I want to beat you. This is a rules-based game. And my uncle has this amazing rule, and I think this is excellent and fun. He said, no fun comes from a 4-putt. No one wants to see a 4-putt. I don't want to see you 4-putt. You don't want a 4-putt. Therefore, holiday golf, there's nothing worse than a 3-putt. When anything after that, you put your it was a 3-putt. Don't worry about it.
Holiday golf rules, and I would add on to that lost ball stuff, right? No one's going back to the tee.
Oh God, yeah. And also, lost ball stuff, but also it's only a 1-shot penalty. I'm not doing this if you can't find your ball. I'm not doing this. Oh, no, actually, it's either go back, it's stroke and distance, go back to the tee, or it's 2-shot penalty. When people say that, I don't, stroke and distance, that doesn't mean anything. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. God, one of the things that you and I are most aligned on, Tom, right, is, because obviously we disagree on most things, is rules. There are certain rules where I'm like, I don't really know I don't really know the rules that well. Yeah. And I'm just like, and again, going back to the medal, the provisional ball thing is so, and I get it and it's right and whatever, but it's so frustrating when you hit a ball where you're like, I think I'll probably find that. And someone goes, better take a provisional. And then you're like, oh God. Tom, and it's just downhill from there.
I totally forgot to tell you about the argument that nearly happened on the golf course.
You know me. Oh, I love an argument.
You will love this. So this was over a ruling. Talking about rules, this is over a ruling, and I wonder if you would know what the correct ruling is here.
I won't. Go on.
So I was in the trees, classic, and I played an amazing 5-wood recovery shot. Okay.
Yeah.
And it landed in. It was on holiday, so it landed in. It was on Laranjal, so where Quinta South had this like bark mulchy stuff, they were just putting that into Laranjal. So what they had more was like clay muddy sort of thing.
I'm very well trained in the art of playing off that.
Yeah, so they'd cut all the bushes back, and there was like clay, and I struck this 5-wood unbelievably. It was the story of that holiday was how well I could hit this 5-wood. It was unbelievable. Never hit woods well until a few years ago. And I was like, I can't find this ball, right? It had become so plugged in this clay that you could only see the top tip of the ball. Okay? Now, Tom.
Obviously you're taking that out of there.
What's the ruling?
Oh, I think I know this. If it's plugged, isn't there a rule about if the top of the ball is lower than the lie of the ground, then you have, with no penalty, you can take it out and relie it, I think. Or is that only on fairways? I don't know.
I think that ruling is on greens. I think that's the greens.
Oh, so really?
I had one person I was playing with saying, play it as it lies. And I had another person I was playing with saying, no, you can pick and place. And we were like, what's the rule?
But why would you play it as it lies? You're not going to be able to. You can't. It's unplayable. You have to take it out of there because you're not getting it out of there.
So, as all good games of golf, when we got back to the clubhouse, the rules book came out.
Oh,
right then,
it's always a bad
sign. What's the ruling on that? Which I actually really enjoyed because I think it's fun. I think it's fun to learn things. I like learning.
Yeah.
And it was, I now have this information. So, and I actually think this rule changed over the last few years. The ruling is, if it is plugged in what they consider to be the general play area, which is not red stakes, not bunkers, and it is plugged, you get a free drop.
Thought so. But in the woods, is that general play?
I believe so. Rough, woods, it's the general play area, it's not staked.
But define plugged. Has the top of the ball got to be below the lie of the ground?
I did. I mean, the reason I didn't get into that is because my ball was beyond plugged. My ball had gone down through the clay. So, like, it was almost comical how little of the ball you could see. It was just the top of the white tip. So, the idea of it, whether it was or wasn't plugged, wasn't really an argument. But that is a good question.
Define plugged.
Define plugged, yeah.
If a man in Australia is playing it, it is plugged. It has gone through the centre of the earth. I forgot to mention, actually, during my 24 over... I know, this is my other round. My next weekend, I've shot 14 over. And on the 11th, par 5, another par 5, I hit quite a fadey, almost a slice, but it was a good strike. And I went into the Bermuda Triangle. I've talked about this before on the show. If you have got anything you want to fly tip, head to this part of my local golf course, because everything that goes in there never comes out. And sure enough, I lost that ball. I couldn't believe it. And there's not loads of long grass. I couldn't fathom how mad I was about it. And then walking up the adjoining fairway when I was then playing the 15th, my ball was just sitting there. And I felt like it was there. I just missed it. And it was I could see it was mine, had all the right markings on and stuff. And I just thought, where is the world where I can now go back? Even though I'm now on the 15th and I've played a load of holes with the anger of losing that ball, can't I just go back to 11 and just play from there again, please?
Doesn't this go to idea that I actually I don't think it made it to the podcast. This was a video for socials, a TikTok video. This goes back to the tour drop idea. My lovely tour drop idea, which is idea. That if you and your playing partners, this has to be in a casual round. No one's saying do this in the monthly medal or the club champs. But when you're playing a casual round of golf, if you and all your mates agree that if this was a tour game, a spotter or a fan would have found that ball, therefore just drop the ball where you think it is and crack on. Jesus, we're not playing the Masters.
It's a great rule. I think something we do when we get the inevitable publishing deal, we're going to write the Golfers Ruining My Life alternative golfing rules. Holiday golf, the tour drop, all these things. Tom, we're running out of time. I know we've probably got 98 things. We're going to do emails. We'll have to bin that off. We'll do emails next time. But something I really want to talk about before we finish is, because it starts today and it feels like the first whiff of a major, it's the TPC at Sawgrass. It starts today, and I just thought it'd be worth dipping into that. We've done a video on this over on our YouTube, so go and check that out. But I'm super, super excited, and I think Tommy Fleetwood's going to win.
Yeah, you said that. I'm weirdly not. I've not really done my deep dive into all the research yet, and gone knee deep and learn a bit about the courses and how it's changed this year and who's playing really well. So I'm a bit in the dark at the moment. I do think Rory's having a great year, so I really like him to do it. Thigala also obviously really deserves a win, so I'd love to see that happen. I think for me, the most exciting thing about the players is my little side betting WhatsApp group has now lit a flame under its bots, because this is the first we bet on the 4 majors and this, which we consider the 5th major to be.
This is the 5th major, isn't it? This is the 5th major.
Yeah. Well, I do think there's an argument to consider Phoenix Open now in that category, because I think that gets a lot of buzz. But anyway, it's the reason I love this so much is, I don't know if you can feel this at home, because we've been chatting, obviously, all January and February and November last year and December, when the general public, the public at large, are switched off to golf. And there is just something bubbling away at the moment as all the summer golfers are starting to go, should we get the bats out again? Can you feel that?
Yeah, 100%. It's a bit like when you go back to uni and you're really excited and you're looking out and you can see the car park slowly filling up with your mates, all just reappearing. It's like, where have you been?
John, I've not seen you since August.
It's really nice. It's definitely bubbling up again. And something like TPC, what I love as well, Sky Sports are doing it on the Thursday, so this morning from 11:30. So they're starting coverage super early, and it's going to be like they treat it like a major as well, which is just
great.
adds to the whole excitement. But
Sky Sports now signed with Callaway Golf as well. I don't know whether you saw that announcement. Friend of the show, Incy Mehmet, doing her best attempt at an Oscars nom. We love Incy. Incy's the nicest and the best. It was really cool to see her get to be the sort of face of that Sky Sports Callaway announcement.
It's brilliant.
The only thing I don't understand, and this is mad geeky, but I feel like if there's anywhere I can talk about this, it's in this space.
Mm-hmm.
The Sky Sports Golf presenters, anchors, if you're in the US, wear Adidas, okay?
Yes, they do.
So you'd naturally think the club deal would be tailor-made, because they're bedfellows.
Oh, yeah.
But they're wearing Adidas, but playing Callaway.
Playing with Callaway.
How's that happened?
Yeah.
How's that? I mean, does anyone care other than me? But I really care. How's that happened?
Yeah, I've no idea. We need to get either an agent or a lawyer on to explain the ins and outs of that. That would be a particularly tedious episode, wouldn't it? Just going through. So according to this, Jack, clause 6, paragraph 2.
I'd love it. I think that'd be fascinating.
As ever, we've run out of time. Keep your emails coming. The Toms at golfersruiningmylife.co.uk, and always nice to see you over here on YouTube if that's where you're watching us. Drop a comment. How is your season unfolding? What are your plans? All those bits and bobs. Let us know.
And I have to do a very quick apology to the listener who said, Tom, I can't believe that you said a golfing tee time is a window. That's not true.
Oh, yeah, that's what
I hadn't actually thought about this until this listener said it. You have to tee off at the front of the window because the rest of the window is you playing the hole. And I'd never thought about it like that. And I feel a bit of a silly Billy now, so I do apologise.
That is such a good point.
Yeah. It's not a window. It's don't play whenever you want within this time. It's tee off at the front end, and then you've got 8 minutes to sort of advance through the hole, and then the other people could tee off. And I thought, bloody good point, actually.
That is Rob Hunt, who's one of those people who probably spends his time volunteering as a course marshal. We know your type, Rob.
And I got to say, if you are behaving like that, you are a bit of a Rob Hunt. Am I right?
Hello! It's a good one to end on. It's a lovely way to end the episode. Have a great weekend. Make sure you watch TPC and check us out on YouTube as well, because we'll hopefully, and on TikTok, hopefully be doing a couple of videos over the weekend as TPC unfolds.
Yeah. See you next time. Bye-bye.